Our next witness is Madison Lowe. Madison, can you please state your full name for the record, spelling your first and last name?
Madison Ragna Lowe, Madison Lowe.
Madison, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Now, you are a software developer. You've got a software engineering degree, and you've been working as a software developer for 9 years.
That's correct.
Now, you made a decision to get vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine. Can you share with us what led you to that decision?
Well, I felt pressured to get the vaccine to see people, to go to restaurants, to travel. And I went to a government website, a Canada.ca website, that was displaying the number of adverse events and the number of shots distributed in Canada. And I used that website to determine if I was comfortable with the risk of the vaccine.
Okay, so you're basically going to a Government of Canada site to get truthful information about adverse reactions so you can figure out basically the risks, do a risk-benefit analysis for yourself.
That's right.
Did you also look at how they were collecting the data? Can you speak about that?
Yeah, the same Canada.ca website, I was curious how adverse events were collected, how post-marketing surveillance was performed, and I found guidance on submitting an adverse event form on the website. The guidance included what constituted a serious adverse event. It had timelines for if a symptom shows up within a certain amount of time from getting a vaccine, then you should report an adverse event. It had this information for non-mRNA vaccines, but I made the assumption that the process would apply to mRNA vaccines as well.
Is it fair to say that you felt assured that the data was being collected in a rigorous way and an unbiased way?
Yes, I made the assumption that it was collected in a rigorous and unbiased way, and also that new bad side effects were being actively looked for.
Right, and I used terms that actually you had brought up during an interview, just in case anyone thinks I'm leading this witness. You were actually basically doing due diligence to try and make an informed decision.
Yes, I was.
And then you decided the risk was low, so you took the vaccine.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what happened?
So I got 2 shots of Moderna, and 3 days after my second shot, I started getting new symptoms that I'd never had before. I had a high resting heart rate. I'm a runner, so my resting heart rate is usually around 60 beats per minute, and it was spiking over 100 beats per minute and getting up to 130. Sometimes these episodes would come along with feelings of anxiety, but the worst part was that they would trigger pre-existing gastrointestinal issues, and that was really the debilitating part.
Now, but when you say pre-existing gastrointestinal issue, before the second shot, you managed that. You managed the symptoms of that pre-existing issue. You were able to, live reasonably normal.
That's correct. I was able to participate in all aspects of life fine.
Okay, so you're speaking about something completely different than before.
Yeah.
And how long did these symptoms persist?
Well, many months, 6 months full on, and then started getting better, and I am much better now, but still not 100%.
Okay. Now, you actually went to your doctor to see if you could get your adverse reaction reported. Can you tell us about that?
That's right. So I went on this Canada.ca site that was showing how to submit an adverse event report, and I brought that site to the doctor I was seeing at the time and told her, look, I meet the criteria for an adverse event, so we should report it so that it's tracked. And she agreed, and she submitted the adverse event report, which is great.
Okay. And so your doctor was on side, your doctor submitted the form, and what happened after that?
A little while later, AHS phoned me to tell me they weren't going to submit my report to the surveillance database because it was not a known side effect.
I'm just going to stop you there. I think you need to repeat that and speak slowly.
AHS phoned me to tell me they were not going to submit my adverse event report to the surveillance database. This is the database that I believe was driving that web page that I was using to make the decision, because it was not a known side effect. So at that point in time, I knew that that web page wasn't showing all the data that I cared about.
Right. So basically, the message is that they were not looking for new side effects.
That is what I concluded from that.
How did you feel about that?
I was shocked. I had no idea that the post-marketing surveillance system was so broken, I guess.
Right. So how would you recommend that we do things differently going forward?
So to make an informed decision about a pharmaceutical, I would like data to be collected in a thorough, accurate, and unbiased way. I would like statistical analysis to be performed on all the data by experts. I would like the methods, results, and conflicts of interest to be publicly available. And I would like the risks and unknowns to be made public. Since my report was tossed away, I don't trust that anyone is investigating whether or not my symptoms were caused by the vaccine. And to me, that's an unknown. And when I make a decision, the unknowns matter as much to me as the known risks.
Thank you, and I actually thank you for those 4 points, which I saw the commissioners writing down, because I know you put in a lot of thought in making those recommendations. I'll ask the commissioners now if they have any questions of you.
When you were given your 2 Moderna shots, did whoever provided those injections, did they talk to you about what the unknowns were, what the side effects might be, what the risks were, what the benefits were, so you could make an informed decision?
No, certainly not. The only messaging I remember receiving about the shots was that they were safe. And that's basically it.
And you reviewed the government website as well, you were saying in your testimony, prior to getting the shots?
Yes, I looked at the webpage that was showing the number of adverse events.
And they didn't provide any information about adverse effects or the risks of having taken the vaccine as well?
There was a lot of, there were some adverse events listed. The rate was quite low, so I thought it was acceptable for myself.
Did the website tell you that death was a possible side effect?
I specifically remember looking that up, and that was really interesting for me because I was looking at, I looked for the criteria for how they figured out if death was associated, or was caused by the vaccine. And what they reported was they had a number of deaths that were reported as being caused by the vaccine, and then they decided that they weren't, and then several that were inconclusive, but none that they had determined were actually caused by the vaccine.
Did you have any understanding before you went in for your shots what your risk of actually contracting and dying of COVID-19 was, given your age group?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, thank you.
There being no further questions, Madison, on behalf of the National Citizens Inquiry, we sincerely thank you for your testimony today.
Thank you for the opportunity.